Hi, everyone. We wanted to take a moment to welcome you here to Charis Circles at Grace Episcopal Church. I am Meg McPeak, and I am here with Mike and Stuart. And we wanted to send this short little series of videos so that everyone who participates in this circle with us knows what you can expect as you join this first cohort.
Perfect. So the first thing that we wanted to lay out is just where did this come from, this as a practice? So just so you know, the Charis framework comes from two primary sources. The first source is Father Thomas Keating's work around centering prayer. So as you'll hear in a bit, one of the very first piece that we will do each time that we meet will be focused on that, but not just taking it in the way that it had been taught, but actually taking it a step further in many ways into an interspiritual context. So the centering prayer thread is a very major thread that we will look at as a contemplative practice. The second piece of where it came from is actually something called the Snow Mass Dialogues, which has been around for 2 or 3 decades now. This was work that Father Thomas did early on, bringing together people from different faith and spiritual backgrounds to actually spend time at St. Benedict's in Colorado, to spend time with each other, to get to know each other, to move past, as we've been saying, some of the shorthand and the catchphrases that we go back to, and actually asking themselves, how do we get to know each other on a deeper level of the heart? And how do our various spiritual practices actually help shape who we are, who we see ourselves to be, and how we understand each other as people? So those are the two main threads, the two main sources, if you will, that gave rise to Charis. At that point, our two friends, Rory and Nathaniel, Rory McEntee and Nathaniel Miles Yepes, took this framework and developed it into what now looks like and is Charis, which we've now brought to Grace. And we'll put our own little spin on it in our context here, which I think is always a way to embody it. So that's where this comes from.
Love it. So what does a Charis Circle look like here at Grace? When we gather for our first meeting in September, on September 10th at 6:30, we will all come together in the parish hall. We'll have a few minutes together to say hello, have some camaraderie, and then we will center ourselves as we get ready to go into the first part of a Charis Circle, which is our meditation. This meditation typically lasts for about 20 minutes, and you will be guided through how to center yourself, making yourself comfortable, and getting to a place where you feel centered, so that we can really delve into what is one of my favorite parts about the Charis Circle, which is the reading. So we'll come together, do the meditation, and from that point, we will split off into 3 groups. We do this because when we share in the reading together, which we will all share the same reading, each one of us will facilitate a smaller, circle, if you will, where we will do the same reading, and we will have an opportunity to share what's coming up for us as we go through the reading together. So we break this group off to be a little bit smaller so we can have a little more time so everyone's voice is heard. We can have a little bit more intimacy, and we can really digest what is coming up for us as we are guided through this reading part of a Charis Circle. Once all of our circles are finished with the reading, then we will come back together in the parish hall to kind of close out as one large group. But we want to have as many people as possible join us, and what we have found to be a really wonderful addition to our practice. So we find that coming together as a large group in the beginning and the end works well, while being in smaller groups during the reading helps us all really delve into what's up for us in the moment.
In both an in-person and online format, which I think will be great.
Yes. So those who are joining us by Zoom, you'll absolutely be a part of our circle that will stay in the parish hall. We will also have a circle in the greeting area and one in the chapel as well.
Perfect. So the Charis meditation is part of the Charis circle and is part of what's based on the centering prayer established by Father Keating. And when we talk about the Charis circle, we talk about it having two dimensions. There's a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. So the centering prayer piece, which we are doing Charis meditation, is the vertical axis. And the reason that it's the vertical axis is that it helps us get deep and helps us go high. And it is the act of connecting and reconnecting with the divine, with our spiritual selves, with those pieces that are infinite and true. And the meditation that we practice in this is a non-focusing meditation. It's a receptive meditation. So instead of picking a mantra or a symbol that you focus on the entire time, you choose, you allow a spiritual sense of sacredness and symbol to arise in you, and you allow that to be a focal point when you find yourself getting distracted. But that symbol is your consent to participate and to be transformed by the Spirit, the divine, and that to be open to revelations that it offers you. So that's a big part of the vertical dimension. The horizontal dimension is when we take the perspective and the insight that we've been given and the mindset that we've been given from our vertical practice, which is the meditation, and we apply that in our horizontal practice, which is the reading, where we take a piece of thoughtful and deep writing. It could be a poem often, or a song, or a psalm, and we reflect on that with that perspective. And the synthesis of that is really what we walk away from this with. We walk away from this with having embodied, put into practice, that vertical divine piece into our horizontal, tangible lives. And that's how we merge those two things into a fuller practice that we can take with us into the rest of our life.
And to that end, we will share at the end of our circles, we do share the passage that we read with everyone so that you can take it with you and walk into your week or to the next few weeks until we meet again, and use it as you find it useful throughout your practice.
Mm-hmm. And part of this with the School for Prayer and Spiritual Practice at Grace is we will stay in touch with you throughout the month. So you'll get other things from us if we find little snippets, or if different ones of you send things to us to say, this really made me think of this. We will also be in touch and form our network and go even deeper, which I think would be great.
Mm-hmm. We're really excited to share this with all of you. We're really looking forward to the space on September 10th at 6:30. We can't wait to see all of you and start the Charis circles here at Grace. Thanks for being a part of it.
Mm-hmm.